Hey, you guys. So sorry. I hate running a little behind, but it is Wednesday, July 16th, and it is just after 6:25 p.m. here on the East Coast. And so, yeah, we have some updates on some latest news today. So, yeah, I was just actually looking over of the some of the things that were going on, and sorry, I had to take a personal phone call. And so, yeah, hang on a second, hang on. It's feedback. Yeah. So yeah, there was a tsunami. What was it off of Alaska over here in the Southwest, off of in Anchorage. Hang on a second here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry. What's up, James? Hey, Lexi. Good to see you. What's up, Tombstones? How are you? I know it's hot everywhere in the world right now, right? It is especially here in the South and in the Northeast. So I did not get a chance to take a look at all of the information for this tsunami, but I definitely seen that there were some news channels that were reporting on all of this. So let's see, Lexi, I'm sure that you guys were reading all about that and stuff. So let's see. Yeah, I know. The tiki bar, right? I know. And then I had run into our good friend Millie. And so I said, well, you know what? We can go live and we can give some updates on her and this our little good friend Millie, you know. So yeah, I know. Tombs, right? Alaska of all places, right? So crazy. Lexi said, the weatherman said no need to mow the lawn because the grass will fry next week. Yeah, it is so hot out. What up, Capone? Good to see you, buddy. So, yeah, what is the word? Well, this is so crazy because I mean, tsunami is just so let's talk about Millie. I don't want to get too sidetracked here. You know, we try to keep it a little light over here. And so, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second and hang on, hang on. So, okay, all right. So, our girl Millie, who everybody knows is a waitress, and I just adore her. And Millie's been pretty busy, so she got a new job and she's working at another restaurant. And she's so adorable. So she had, I ran into her last week and she had invited me to her new restaurant. And so I said, all right, well, I went to go see her today and I had lunch there. And so she's just so adorable. So she's at a little pizza place. And I just said, I needed to get some updates from you, Millie. I love you. Lexi, right? Yay, Millie. Right? She's such a nice lady. And so she's just got a lot of things going on. She's got like all of her grandkids and they're here visiting, because it's summer break and everything. And so she's just keeping super busy and she was so excited to see me. And I just was, I'm just still in awe of her, right? Because she's just so vibrant in her age and she's running around. She's taking care of even today, like on a Wednesday, it was pretty busy for I went there, it was probably around like maybe 1:30. And, Millie had a full house. She had a packed restaurant full of, people having pizza, some spaghetti, whatever. And she ran around. And for somebody that was in like a newer restaurant, I tell you, she went from table to table and just greeted people, took their orders, and you would never know that she was like in a totally different environment. But it was nice for me to see her interact with the customers. And I said to her, thank you so much for inviting me to her restaurant. She was so funny. She was like, Dawn, it was so nice to see you. And it was just cute to like kind of go visit her and listen. The pizza to me was good for a little pizzeria in the neighborhood. So yeah, that was like the little updates on Millie and she was running around and so she was like introducing me to the owners of the Italian restaurant. And I said, "Listen, don't it's not about me. It's about this woman. Like you're so lucky to have her. She is a gem running around waiting on all the customers in the pizza place." And it was such a nice energy of customers in there too, which was really fun. So anyway, how are you guys doing? How's your Wednesday going? What's going on? I know everybody's running to see all this information that's breaking on the tsunami out of Alaska. I mean, out of all places, like Alaska to have, they were just actually confirming that at first it was a warning, and then they actually confirmed that it was a tsunami. So what were they waiting on? Are they waiting on like the earthquake or something? What were they saying? Was it like a 7.3, or is anybody good on all that kind of stuff? Does anybody in the chat want to tell me what's going on with it? Toombs, you're pretty good with that, right? Hang on, guys. I just want to turn the air down for a second. Hang on a second. Yeah, I need a news anchor spot. That would be fun. I'd definitely have a good time, that's for sure. I don't know how much work I would get done, but I would definitely take a lot of notes, that's for sure. So she says, all I know is it's hot and humid here. Oh, Toombs, I'm telling you, it is so hot and so humid where I am too here in the South. It is gross. So, but I know it's like that everywhere. What's up, Heidi Cakes? So good to see you. You're not working during the live? I'm so glad to hear that. So Toombs said it's a 7.2 earthquake. So there you go. Wow. Oh, it's so scary. It's just nature. Mother Nature is just something not to mess with, right? And so we seen last week everything that happened in Texas and all of that tragic. It was so sad to see all of that. And now we have this going on in Alaska. And I'm like, oh my God, just scary times, man. It really is. Or 7.3, depending on the website. Yeah, no, Toombs, I know. I had seen really quick. I had just looked over at the TV right before, and it said it was 7.2 or 7.3. And I just went, wow, it's pretty crazy. Heidi, I'm so glad you made it. I just figured, I had a little bit of time and we could hang out here. And I was just so happy to go see little Millie. And it was so nice to, welcome her into this little pizza place. And I tell you, what an amazing woman to have working at that restaurant. I said to the guy, I said, "What, you are so lucky to have." He goes, "You don't understand. This woman, she gets in, she's rolling the silverware, she's setting the tables, she's getting out the glasses, wiping down the menus, and I mean, she's just such a beautiful woman." I said, "Yeah, you don't have to tell me. I mean, I'm chasing her around town." She's such a nice lady. I said, "Your food is all right." You know what I mean? I'm listening. It's just all right. He's like, "It's just all right." I said, "I mean, the pizza's pretty good." What's up, Purple Iris? Good to see you. Tombstone says, Pop of what's that say? Pop off Island off the Alaska Peninsula, 600 miles southwest of Anchorage. Heidi Cake says, one of my friends is on an Alaskan cruise. I need to check on them. Oh, wow. Heidi Cakes, yeah, you definitely need to check on them and update me. Let me know how they are. That's scary. Let's just hope everybody is okay. I mean, I'm sure that the news is staying on top of it. I mean, the little bit that I had seen of I think it was on Twitter. I had clicked on it really quick and it just had said, like breaking news, and I went, "Wait a second, hold up." Like I don't go on there often, and so when I do get alerts on there, I was like, "What is this?" Heidi Cakes. I know. Listen, Millie is amazing. She really is. I tell you, she had her little like lipstick on today with her mascara and just such a beautiful lady. And I told her, I said, "Listen, I will tell your story." She she is so funny. I sat there for about 30 minutes or so, and I was more just wanting to like make her feel good, cuz I'm the kind of person that I just feel like if you can make somebody feel good, just do that. You know, do more of that, right? Tsunami warning only and no reported damage from the quake. Oh, good. Okay, so it was just a warning only. Okay. So yeah. Oh, so she was telling me that she bought a new pair of sneakers for the job and it was so cute. She had these like nice what were they like Nikes or whatever. She was so cute and they were so clean. Just such a pressed woman, just very pretty. And so I said to there were two younger uh boys there and a girl. And I said, "Listen, you guys have to really pay attention to what Millie's doing here because she's going to teach you a lot of things." And so they were there and they were willing to learn. And one of the boys were like, "I've been working here for 4 years." And I said, "Listen, I don't care if you were here for 40 years. Millie is going to teach you a thing or two. And even if you just listen to her and learn something about life in general, I'm sure she has tons of stories that you can learn." That's definitely something that you can learn from the older generation is their life, right? And so there's a lot to be said for anything that they can share. And when you have somebody like Millie who has such a nice smile and a good, she just makes you feel good when you walk in the room. It's that person that makes you just smile a little bit, and they smile and you smile back at them. And it's just that person that makes you feel good, and that's Millie. And so these kids were all about it. They were like, "You know what? We're here for it, and if Millie's going to teach us something, then we're going to learn for it. We're here to learn it. I can't even talk." They're like, "We're here to learn from Millie." I said, "Perfect. That's it." Yeah, Heidi Cakes. That's right. It's thankful for the warning, right? Mrs. Alma Trumbull, good to see you. Sorry I'm late. I'm finding. Oh, well, we're sending you love, Mrs. Alma. Always, always. And you take care of yourself. And you're never late. Don't worry about it. Listen, I was a few minutes late over here. And I just wanted to go live so that we could hang out for a little bit and just kick it, you know, chill out. Tombs said Alaska can be a dangerous place, but it's beautiful. And this time of year, although it's, the weather can be crazy, all over, it's storms all over and the rain has been terrible and the heat and humidity. But a lot of the places around this time of year, the beaches are beautiful. And so if you can just take the time out of your day to just stop. Like, I pulled over on the side of the road today, and although I was like so super busy, like I still pulled over and I just like sat there by the water, and I was just like, look at the ocean, look how pretty. Like, you just have to take you know, a few minutes out of your day, even no matter how busy you are, and just be thankful for like whatever goodness is around you, because there's a million terrible things going on in the world. And so you want to try to just like stop and take a deep breath for yourself, because there's just so much going on. There's so many things like that you can't control in the world, like mother nature and things like that. So when you can control something, try to give yourself a little bit of some control and credit, and just hang out for a minute or two and just kind of like be in your own thoughts. Like, I do that with myself, and I said that on this live like months ago, where like once a month I'll take time for myself and I'll just go and sit by myself and just be with my own thoughts. And sometimes, listen, it's a scary place to be with your own thoughts, but sometimes you just have to, shut off communications, like, and just be by yourself and hang out for a little bit. And you'll feel a little bit better. Listen, even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you can get 30 minutes or an hour, like, go for a walk, you'll feel a little bit better. What's up, Barbara George? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well too. What's going on? What's going on in your world? How is everybody? What's going on? I see things are kicking back up in the that whole Karen Reed thing, which is wild. I know a lot of you guys follow a lot of that. I know I caught a couple of minutes today of Vinnie Politan. And then also they had that, oh, that savage animal. What is his name? Matt, geez, I'm gonna get all like I can see his face too. The one in Orlando, Madeline Soto, well, whatever his name is, I don't even care about him, but his trial is starting, I think, on July 22nd. And Vinnie Politan was talking a little bit about it today, and they were just going back and forth. But you know, that's why I said, like, just be about the good things, right? Because there's so much crime and criminal things. Like, ugh, gross. Yeah. Miss Alma says things are okay here. I have to have a colonoscopy next Wednesday. Then we'll schedule surgery. All right. Well, listen, you hang in there, man. You've had a lot of things going on, and we are sending you lots of love, girl. Lots of love over there. And you're always welcome over here. I love seeing you over in Duty Rons and wherever you are hanging out. We're always there with you. Lexi, you too, and Beamer, sending you guys some love over by you. Hopefully, I got all of you guys in here. I didn't even start the live with the music or anything. I just jumped right in. I hate being late, but the phone started ringing. It's always like pandemonium when you walk in. And it was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, that's it. We're going to go live, and we're going to do it. We're going to change the channel, and we're going to go in this direction. And we're going to go, I'm going to do like a main event. And we're going to do it like MANE, like the hair, like main event. And we're going to go, and then in this corner, we have this. And then in this corner, we have this person. And then we're going to start like everyone's gonna just start fighting, and I'll be the person in the middle going, nope, you wait, and then I'm gonna mute you, and then you're gonna come in, and then I was like, well, I don't know if we're gonna do that. And then I was like, I don't know, it could be good. Like, we can play some rocky music in the background, we can really get it going, and then I was like, maybe I can call this creator, or I can message this one and be like, why don't you get your arse up here? And why don't you get over here? And why don't you tell him about himself? And why don't you come over here? And then we were like kicking it around back and forth a little bit. And I was like, this could get interesting, right? Like, I don't know how deep I wanted it to go, but I had some ideas. And then I thought, well, we'll see. It can get pretty interesting. What's up, Melissa? Good to see you. Yo, Toombs, I don't know. I just had this idea that it was wild. And then I said, well, it could get a little hairy, but so we could call it a main event, and we could do like a little bit of wrestling type things here, and chairs can go flying, and then listen, maybe people could feel good about it afterwards. I don't know. I mean, you might be mad at me after, but you'll get over it. Maybe I'll get mad at myself. Maybe I won't. I mean, whatever. It could be good. Get all that nasty business out and done. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person, like, I don't like to go to bed. I don't like to go to bed mad. I don't go to bed angry. I don't want anybody to be. Don't go out there, hurt yourselves. Don't do any of that. Like, come over here. I'm going to give you a heart and a hug. You'll be fine. Maybe you can come work it out. Maybe, you could, message me and be like, hey, I have a beef with somebody and I really don't know how to handle it. Hey, Dawn, what do you think? Maybe you want to help me out with this? Maybe I could help you out. I don't know. I thought about it. I was kicking it around a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What do you guys think? You guys in the chat, you guys want to see something like that? You think maybe we could do it over here? Yeah, put hearts in the chat for Mrs. Alma Trumbull, man. We definitely want to get you out there and get better. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I thought about it and I was like, been in this world of like moderation for a long time. I don't know. And I was like, could be fun, right? Hey, listen, I mean, I could tell you about yourself, but then I mean, really, it's just my opinion. What does that really? It doesn't really matter, really, what I think, right? In the whole world, in the whole scheme of things. It's really just it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just people say it's just the internet, who cares? Like, shut the computer and walk away, which, I mean, you should. Nobody should ever be upset about anything. It's not really, but there are people that have feelings, and there are people that hang out on here for far too long, in my opinion, and it's hard. And so I get it. Maybe I should be the person to do it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I do it or should I not? I don't know. Get me a referee outfit? Toombs, I don't know. I was sitting here and I was thinking like, I'd love to see, because like everybody's got like an opinion, right? 'Cause they're all, and then I said, well, this person has awful lot to say about this person. And this person has an awful lot of content that they put out, and they're really, really good. This person, not so much, but they think they do, but really don't. But whatever. I mean, listen, to each their own audience. I get it. And some people have some really, really good ways of listen, I think in the whole world of like the internet on, say, YouTube, like as a platform, everybody has, when you have a channel, like everybody has, say, how would I explain it? You have a story to tell. And so you get like, you want to create a channel. And so you you have to put out this story, and so it's all based upon how and who tells the story better than who, right? So for example, you have this case of, we'll just use for example, uh give me a case, whatever, Karen Reed, what, okay, so you got 42 channels talking about the same case, but really, who tells the story the best? I mean, in my opinion, it's the true crime people of like the lawyers and the law enforcement. They tell the best stories, in my opinion. You might not think so. It could be the people that tell the best stories. I mean, just in social media, people that follow the cases the best are the best storytellers. So it doesn't have to be a lawyer, or, I mean, listen, they know the law the best. It doesn't mean they tell the best stories. It could be somebody who's following the case. Like I said, somebody who's really, really following that particular case is going to tell the best story, or they're going to tell the best version of that story, the best. And you're going to follow it in the way you're going to follow it. And that's just what it is. Or you're going to do your own research and find the way you're going to see it. And then everybody forms their own opinions and blah, blah, blah. Right? That's how it goes. Yeah, tune. Law enforcement and lawyers. You know, fact versus fiction. For me, it's always fact. That's just what it is. Especially when you're dealing with, criminal cases and things like that. You're always going to want the facts first, right? And it's only the facts. Yeah, and you can listen to someone on both sides of the case. Exactly right. Like when listening to the information on the Karen Reed case, it was amazing for me and all of us to hear it from, Dave Yannetti and, all of the attorneys that were speaking on behalf of the case and for the case. It was the best information because it was firsthand information. Eileen, it's good to see you. Hi. Yeah, Heidi, it's just the facts. I want just the facts. And especially when you only have, you know, 20, 30 minutes and you just need the facts and you just want the facts because you are following the story and, you don't have 7, 8 hours to listen to a full trial or, something like that. So you just want the facts, but there'll always be like a twist in the story somewhere, or you know, like I feel for the people that sit in like a chat that's like 7, 8 hours of just like, a bunch of conversation, because it could just be a couple of things in a chat where it's either conspiracy theory or something. And then before you know it, the story is just dismantled. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Happy Wednesday. So, yeah, there's that. And then what else do they have going on in the news? I know that there's people that are like patiently waiting this, the Jeffrey Epstein list, which is crazy in itself. So that's another whole rabbit hole of things that are going on. And so, you either want to see this disastrous list or you don't. And so there's a lot of hype around all of that too. So, but I know I definitely want to see this. Why can't I think of his name? This Madeline Soto guy. I don't know. I think because I've like wiped him all out of my brain. Can't stand him. I see his face. Ugh. Yeah, Cheryl, happy Wednesday. All day all this morning, I kept thinking it was Thursday. I psyched myself out. I was like, yeah, tomorrow's Friday. And so who no, it was actually Millie. Millie curb checked me. I was dying. She was like, Dawn Marie, I hate to say it to you. I go, what? She goes, honey, tomorrow's not Friday. I was like, Millie. I said, no, what do you mean tomorrow's not Friday? She's like, honey, it's Thursday and I gotta work a double. I was like, oh, Millie. I felt more for her than I did for me. I was like, listen, I'll get over it. I will build a bridge and get over. Stephen Stearns, Barbara George, thank you. Yeah, he's a nasty man. Yeah, Toombs, ugh, can't stand him. Right, Melissa, I know. Hate his face. Can't. I know. I can't even. And you know what? That's why I just can't stand his name, his face. Ugh. I watched a little bit of him sitting in that courtroom too, and he had like a little court hearing the other day. And I clicked on it and I was like, ugh, listening to one of the lawyers say, like, how they were picking the jury or whatever. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, I hope everybody in the city of Orlando that gets picked on this jury, like, knows who he is. Seriously. That poor little girl. Yeah, I know, Heidi. It's too much for me. I just can't handle that case. Well, and it's like I was talking to somebody last night and they were just like, I can't do these like children's cases anymore. And I said, I'm totally with her. Like when she said that, and I said, you know what? She's not wrong, because it's just, it weighs on your heart after a while. It's just a lot. Yeah, he's disgusting and so smug. I know, right? I know. What defense does he have? None, Lexi, right? Nothing. Yeah, creeper vibes all day. And like there was something that he had said back when he was first trying to like plea that he, didn't do anything or whatever, was his you know, what did he something like he played video games or something, and I was like, What in the what does that have to do with what you did?" Like, "Oh, you're so gross. Get out of here." Do you guys think that her mother is going to be in the courtroom or have to testify in any way, or exactly, Cheryl, his evidence doesn't lie, that's for sure. Hang on. Hang on, guys, give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, no, so let's see here, let me catch up on some of these comments. Yeah, no, Toombs, yeah, her mother is no better though, sorry. No, she's not. A bunch of garbage pail kids, in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, well, what do you guys have going on for the rest of the week? Anybody have anything exciting coming up? Or, I know everything over here is still, summer break for everyone, and so everybody's just kind of like laid back and, catching some last minute vacations and things like that. And so I've just been running around doing things for work. Eileen, I know. Where is she? I don't know where she is. What's up, Jennifer Murray? Good to see you. And then what other cases do we have that are brewing out there? I feel like there's a ton of things that. Oh, and then the Rex Heuermann, I'm sure things are moving along swiftly out east on the island. Somebody had posted something in a Discord the other day that I saw to be very interesting. I don't know how true it was or whatever, or maybe Toombs can confirm or not, but I saw that there was a Jeep or something that was for sale allegedly, and it belonged to Rex or something. So I had seen that and I was like, "Wait, what? What?" So who sold that? He sold that? Who's what? How'd that happen? Oh, good, Eileen. I know, Barbara. Excuse me. Yeah, no, it is. I just want to make sure that, there is justice for her. And oh, okay. So yeah, Tombs said it was an old army Jeep that someone was trying to sell as his. Oh, okay. So there you go. I read it as that it was his. So thanks for confirming that. That was wild. I'm like, wait a second. How in the hell did I never seen like he didn't have that on his driveway or in his possession. So that was wild. Asa is in love all over again. Eileen, is that true? Yeah, she's got a new boyfriend. Oy. So let's see what else is going on. Let's search for some current events. Hmm, I don't see anything. You guys update me in the chat and tell me some things here. Tombstone said it was once his, but I don't think connected to the murders that they say anyway. Oh, well, all right. So then it was once his. Okay. Interesting. How do you guys find this stuff? You guys are like super sleuths. The Jeep belonged to Rex once, and the man selling was selling it as a serial killer collectible. Oh my god! So like a murderabilia type thing. That's like a no-no, right? I don't ooh, that's kinda creepy. Yeah, Eileen, I know. That's why when I read it the other day, I went, "Oh my god, I didn't know he had, like, a military Jeep like that." It was like one of those, like, green military type, uh yeah, Tombs. You're gonna have to fill us in, and I'll read the chat. Yeah, it was on eBay, that's what it was. Somebody had shared the listing, and I was reading it, and I went, "Wait a second. Homeboy had, like, a whole four-door, like, army green Jeep? Is that what he drove around on the island in?" It was a World War II Jeep era. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what exactly what it looked like. The more you know. I did not know that. Well, I learned about it a couple days ago, that's for sure. Well, and so then I clicked on the listing because, I was curious, and then it said sold. So I don't know if it really did sell. Tombs, did it sell or did the lister have it taken down? I didn't look that far into it. I was just curious to see like really what it looked like. So I was zooming in on the photos. Eileen said maybe his brother. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe. But it was up in Long Island. So at least, allegedly that's where the listing was. So she said, I'm not sure. I think it was supposed to be taken down. Oh, okay. So maybe that's what happened. It looked like it was marked as sold. So maybe that's what they do. And well, she's going to check for us. Perfect. Thanks. So yeah, crazy, crazy. So there was just something that came on my phone and it says breaking news. Trump says Coca-Cola agrees to use cane sugar. Wait, what does that say? Trump says Coca-Cola agrees to use cane sugar in US sodas. Well, that's kind of a big deal because don't they in Mexico they use is it cane sugar in Coca-Cola soda? So it says here President Donald Trump announced Wednesday afternoon, July 16th, that Coca Cola has agreed to use real cane sugar for its soda beverages sold in the US. He said, I have been speaking to Coca Cola about using real cane sugar in Coke in the United States, and they have agreed to do so. Trump wrote on Truth Social. I'd like to thank all of those in authority at Coca Cola. This will be a very good move by them. You'll see, it's just better. US Today has reached out to Coca Cola for confirmation on the president's announcement. A spokesperson for the company told Reuters the Atlanta based company will share details on new offerings soon and that it appreciates Trump's enthusiasm for its product. Coca Cola uses high fructose corn syrup to sweeten its US products, while cane sugar is used in other countries, Reuters reports. The president's announced switch comes as Trump's continued to support Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s efforts to move away from certain food ingredients like artificial dyes. Through the Make America Healthy Again initiative, the Trump administration aims to stop food industry from contributing to chronic health problems that Americans face from obesity to heart disease. All right. All right. I'm about it. So all right, Tombstone says the 1972 military utility tactical truck and 1963 trailer are being auctioned, with bids reaching $9,100. Yeah, Eileen, I know, right? What a world. We need the dies to go for sure. Yeah, we do. I mean, it's a start. Hopefully, it's a start in the right direction. It's all the artificial sugars that unfortunately is just it's a no-go. So Barbara George said, I thought Duty Ron said you can't sell items for profit from a killer. Yeah. Well, hey, if he said it, then it's true. So Tombs said he had to revise the eBay listing and remove Rex's name, and he changed it to RH, and it went back up for sale. See, there's always a way around things. See how he abbreviated it to RH? Slick. Hmm. So we know if it really was his, or are they just like trying to tie like a good quote story to this Jeep? Mhm. Heidi says, Eileen, I was looking at ingredients in cranberry juice. I was not expecting them to be using red number 40 in that. Oh, yeah, red dye number 40 is not good. So let's see what else we got on here. Ooh, what's this? Whoopee. Oh, this is old. Never mind. I guess it said, well, it's not to leave you hanging like cliffhanger, but it said Whoopi Goldberg was being forced to retire. So, okay. Let's see. Oh my God, listen to this crazy story. This is wild. Couple arrested over tricking multiple surrogate mothers into carrying kids for them. At least 21 children rescued from foster care. Holy crap. Sylvia Zhang and I can't even say his name have been arrested over allegedly tricking a surrogate mother into carrying multiple children for them over the course of several years. The couple reportedly sent some of these children into foster care, although why they recruited so many surrogates remains unclear. They have been temporarily arrested on suspicion of felony child endangerment and neglect. The situation was unveiled through complaints from surrogate mothers across Texas and Florida. At least 21 children, excuse me, were taken into protective custody in Southern California following the complaints. According to the reports by police in Arcadia, California, most of these kids are between the ages of 2 months and 13 years old. Whoa. Sylvia Zhang and Guiyang Zhan, who are the legal parents of these children, denied any accusations of wrongdoing. According to the reports by Mira US, the couple opened a surrogacy agency called Mark Surrogacy at their home in Arcadia. It has been listed in the public records as well. So surrogate mothers who were hired by them believed that they were carrying children for Zhang and Zwan? I can't. Due to their infertility. However, the scam came into light when multiple surrogate mothers discovered that they were all carrying babies for the same pair. Some even, excuse me, some even at the same time. I love being pregnant, but was done growing my own family. So I thought, what better way to experience pregnancy at the same time as grow their family? Kayla, 27, a surrogate mother from Texas, told KTLA 5 News. She was contacted via Mark Surrogacy and gave birth to a Jesus and gave birth to a baby on March 13th after a successful embryo transfer through IVF. However, mere 2 months later, she came to know that the baby had been handed over to a foster care. It was something I never would have expected to happen. Something almost unbelievable, unless you're living it, Kayla lamented. Later, it was discovered that the couple also placed a few other kids in foster care. Police initially launched an investigation on suspicion of child abuse when a 2-month-old baby of theirs was hospitalized with head trauma. On May 9th, they were arrested again on felony child endangerment and neglect warrants. However, they were released soon after Zhang showed evidence of being a legal mother of all 21 children who were removed from their home by the Department of Children and Family Services. Meanwhile, their agency, Mark Surrogacy, has reportedly filed paperwork to cease operation. However, at least one surrogate mother claimed to be carrying their child at present. Wow, it's deep. I tell you, man, that's why there's so much crazy things that go on in this world. Let's see what else there is. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. I know, Eileen, and this is not on the news. No, this is right here with us. This is crazy. Right, exactly. Barbara George, forget arrest and go directly to jail, please. Right. I know, Eileen, how cruel. Special place in hell. Exactly. I mean, how do you do something like that? It's disgusting. Let's see what else we have in the news that's not being covered. Let's cover some stuff here. Florida man sues North Carolina casino after $500,000 in winnings withheld. Lifetime ban. Ooh, let's see the story. A Florida man is suing a North Carolina casino after claiming it withheld his $500,000 payout for weeks. The suit alleges that in June 2024, Emmanuel Croma bet $143,000 through Harrah's Cherokee Casino that the Celtics would win the NBA championship. They did, which meant Croma won more than $500,000. However, when he arrived at the casino to receive his winnings, security walked him out instead. Croma said that while Harrah's eventually gave him his winnings 10 days later, they banned him for life from any of their casinos. He is now asking for a judge to award damages for the ordeal. Channel 9 has reached out to the casino's parent company, Caesars Entertainment, for a statement regarding the incident, but has not heard back. Ooh, okay. All right, let's see this next story. Here we go. Ooh, this one is okay. Wait. Hold on. I think I've seen this one covered, but let's read about this. This was crazy. This was, I think, over on TikTok. Let's read about this one. Girl 6 finds parents dead in a house, rushes to tell older sister 17 unaware she's the shooter. Police. To me, she is probably the saddest victim in all this, said Carroll County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Ashley Hulsey of the younger sister as police search for a motive. A 17-year-old girl called 911 after her 6-year-old sister ran up to her in their home and told her their mother and stepfather had been shot and killed. 5 months later, the teen turned herself in and stands accused of their murders. The investigation began on February 20th when the Carroll County Sheriff's Office received that 911 call from a teen saying that her mother, Kristen Brock, 41, and stepfather, James Brock, 45, had been shot in the family's home, according to WSB's reporting at the time. From that very moment the 911 call was received, a relentless investigation began, said Carroll County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Ashley Hulsey in a press conference after the arrest of Sarah Grace Patrick, the very teen who made that call. Now, hang on. Did you guys hear about this story? Hang on. Sharon, you found us. Yes. Good to see you. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I saw this briefly over on TikTok. So I'm going to continue reading this and let me know if you guys heard about this. Now Patrick is being charged as an adult and facing 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault for the deaths of her mother. For the deaths of her mother and stepfather. Patrick was with her biological father when they were advised by authorities that the investigation was pointing towards the teen, her lawn crime. And it was her father who helped her turn herself in Tuesday morning. We feel confident that she is responsible for their murders, Hulsey said in the press conference later that afternoon. She turned herself in because we notified her that we had warrants for her arrest. Man accused of decapitating. At the same time, Halsey said that the investigation is far from over and she's not ruling out the possibility of more arrests as they're not certain if the alleged suspect carried out the crimes alone. Our team has sifted through mountains of physical and digital evidence and collaborated with the FBI and GBI crime lab, she said, which included the team's tearful speech at her mother's funeral, as noted by the New York Post. A moment investigators suspect might have been a ploy to cover her tracks. It's very possible others are involved as well, she told reporters. We're still working with her diligently. Our investigators have been speaking with her. Police have also not yet been able to determine a motive for the shootings. We don't know what goes through the mind of a child who wants to harm their parents, Halsey added. She's 17. She's kind of been out on her own. She's lived with different family members and moved all over the place. When asked if Patrick had tried to conceal what happened in February, Halsey noted, considering that she didn't just immediately tell us what happened, yes, but who knows what's going on in a young person's mind like that. Because their suspected shooter was so close to the victims, Halsey said that it took 5 months of investigating for police to feel confident enough that they had this right to move toward warrants. They wanted to be as certain as possible they arrested the right person. One heartbreaking twist in the story is the fact that it was Patrick's younger sister, 5, at the time of the murders, who first found the bodies. Police at the time had determined this younger daughter had been in the house at the time of the shootings, but was unaware it had happened. Smallest daughter found them, and then she came and told Sarah, and Sarah made the 911 call. Halsey said in Tuesday's press conference the younger daughter had no idea that her older sister was the alleged shooter. She is probably the saddest victim in all of this, Halsey said of the younger sister, noting the trauma this young child had to endure and will have to live with. Hang on. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get back to this. All right. So it says here, though there were no signs of forced entry at the time, one door was slightly ajar, and the fact police were unable to find the murder weapon led them to quickly rule out suicide in the February deaths of James and Kristen Brock. They had recently joined a new church and were well liked in the community per Crime Online. TikTok star's wife speaks out after child pleads guilty. Tasha Meza, who had invited them to their new church, said of the couple at the time of their deaths, Kristen was bubbly and fun and she loved hugs. She never met a stranger. She never met a stranger. What? She never met a stranger. And James, he was a comical kind of guy. He would always crack jokes and always say something to make you laugh. James was also a survivor, with the investigation uncovering that he'd been dealing with years of health issues, including multiple medical procedures. According to his family, he had a lot of heart trouble. He had numerous heart surgeries. I believe he may have been waiting on a heart transplant at some point, Halsey said. To have his life cut short when he was given so many opportunities to live, to me, that's a big takeaway from the story. The biggest takeaway for her, though, is that a mother and stepfather will never be able to raise their children and the little girl that was in the home. The couple is survived by their 7 children who had been combined into a blended family at the time of their deaths. If convicted, Patrick faces up to life in prison without the possibility of parole. All right, that was just a wild story. So let's see. What's up, James Moan? Good to see you. How you doing, buddy? All right, so Toombs. All right, you got updated information here. So she says, whoa, the Jeep was being sold by Asa. Now ex-wife used her lawyer to list it for sale anonymously. eBay removed it. No way. Toombs, are you serious? Damn. That freaking Jeep, man. Heidi says this is another horrible case. Melanie did alive. Oh, did she really? Okay, so yeah, I feel like I heard about this. I thought it was on TikTok. So let me see. Hey, Beamer, good to see you. Hope you're feeling good, girl. Yeah, Asa, girl. What you doing, girl? What you doing, girl? So crazy. All right, what else do we got? I got a little bit more time. Hang on here. Woman claims her ex-husband was fishing with his new girlfriend. Oof. We got any good stories? Let's find something good. Oh man. Where's this? I need to find a story where there's like, man that finds $5 billion and calls Dawn Marie to give her 1 million. Oh, yeah, Toombs, what are you doing, Asa? Asa, what you doing? Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to read any more sad stuff. There's too much sad stuff. Listen, the internet is full of like just doom and gloom. I can't. I know any good summer reading, Eileen. I don't know. I'm gonna start writing like more. I'm gonna write more Millie stories. I feel like the world needs more Millies, right? Not. We don't need no more. I can't. Yeah, Millie sounds like a gem, right, Tombs? She sure does. She is. She's like everybody's role model grandma slash just hustler, all around good lady. I mean, when the guy told me that she was cleaning down the menus and stuff, I kind of looked like the place was immaculate. I mean, it was just such a little Italian restaurant, and the music was playing, and Millie's little Nike sneakers were skipping. I was like, what a cool little place, for a nice older lady to really feel good about herself, putting a little lipstick on, a little sneakers, and she's running around serving pizza in the middle of a Wednesday. Like, good for her. Listen, God bless. The place was busy enough to where she's making some money and they're staying busy. The customers were happy. And it was funny, like the first time I ever met her, I met her at the breakfast place. And so it was nice to see her like listen, she didn't skip a beat either. And it was around Christmas time, right? That I met her. And there was a customer that was like bringing her in like a nice envelope to like gift her for her hard work. And I just hadn't seen something like that in so long in the service industry. And so it's just so nice. Like I just love that. I mean, I'm in the service industry, so I just love when I see compassionate people being nice to people that do nice things. Like, I had to run into the doctor's office today as I had to go pick up a couple of things. And so, I was talking, it was so funny too, as I'm standing there and this lady just like cut right in front of me. And normally I'm like, oh, I'll tell you two funny stories. And so standing there and this lady cuts right in front of me. And so the woman behind the counter that worked there, she goes, girl, child, did you see her? She just cut right in front of you. And I said, you know what? It doesn't phase me. You know what I mean? Like I'm blown away by people that have like the balls to do that because I could never do that. I would never go right up and just cut in front of you online. I just couldn't do it. But I mean, so the woman says to me, because she was making a disc for me for like whatever. And so she was like, I'm gonna fix her ass. I said, yeah, what are you gonna do? She goes, I'm gonna make yours first. I said, listen, you know what? When you You do what you need to do. So I said, I'm gonna go have a seat. She goes, I'm gonna call you in a couple minutes. I said, okay, perfect. So I go have a seat. So I go sit down to the next to this lady and I said, can I sit over here? She goes, come on, sit next to me. So I said to her, I said, you believe this? I said, I go over there, I go to check in, and I said, I'm here to pick up, an MRI disc or whatever. And we're talking, and I said, this lady comes running and she goes right in front of me. I said, but you know what? Maybe me, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, right? It's just what it is. So I said, you know what? Maybe she's here because she's got major problem, and so she's got to get something and she's got to get in and out, and maybe she only has moments to do it. And so that's how I think. And I always try to, and so the woman says to me, no, no, no. I watched the whole thing go down. She goes, I'm from New Jersey and I don't put up with any kind of thing. I saw it. She goes, you're a nice girl. You're standing there, you're waiting. And she went right in front of you. And she took that, you looked away and she slid right in. And I said, oh, well, you know what it is what it is. And she says, no, I don't like it. People like her, and forget out of here. I said, all right, well, it's whatever. So the lady calls me up and I go to get my thing. I said, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. And so the lady is mad. Like you can see the one that cut me off. And so she's looking and she's like, how did she get her thing before I did? Like, how dare you? And so you hear the woman behind, she says to the lady, I was here before her. She goes, oh, no, no, no. No, you weren't. She was here before you. And I just turned around and I said, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm not going to try to get into a fight with these people. Like, this ain't not today, Junior. Like, I ain't trying to fight with these people. And so, and then it was funny, like there's just like this world full of like entitlement, right? And so then it's one of those crazy days. And so I'm in a shopping center and I pull in, and this car is there, and they have their two doors open like the Batmobile. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Look at this!" I go, "You can't go around. You can't go. I can't back up because there's a car behind me." And so I'm like, I don't want to beep the horn because I don't want nobody to, to freaking fall over and like, freak out. And so I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and I'm like, no, man, there's somebody that went into the store to go get somebody, and they're just, they're leaving their doors open. So now you can't go around. So I'm like, well, I'm not a Karen, so I'm just gonna wait. It's not a big deal. But my time is valuable too. So this guy like puts, does this like old New York whistle, and he whistles really loud, and he yells to the guy, he goes, shut your car door. He starts screaming. And I was like, "Oh, no." Like, it was early in the morning too, and I was like, "What is going on around here?" Like, it must be one of those days, and then I forget, somebody said something to me today about it was like, is it not a full it's something today, like in the moon or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, alright, it's like that, it's one of those days, like, you're into one of those or whatever." So then the lady that was with the guy that did the whistle, she turns around, she's like, "These people are unbelievable. Do you see that?" I just backed in. I just took my truck, I backed in or whatever. And I said, "Listen, I don't let it bother me. It's whatever. What am I gonna do? Honk the horn? I mean, it's not gonna make the guy come out any faster. He left the doors open on purpose. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's whatever." So the lady's yelling. She's like, "These people are crazy." She's like flinging her newspaper around. I'm like, "Uh-oh, I just got to get out of here." Like, this is not the day. Not today, Felicia. I tell you, people are just crazy. It's like, that's why I say, like, take 5 minutes, go take a breather. Listen, if you want to cut me off, go right ahead. Listen, it's like the person that when you're at the red light, and all of a sudden the light turns green, and they're like, "Arr," and they are like blaring on the horn, and you're like, yo, the light just turned green. Like, chill out. Like, God forbid there's somebody that's coming in the other direction, and they decide that they're going to blow the red light. You don't want to be that person that's just like automatically blasting through the turn of the green light. Like, I don't know. I always try to like take it easy a little bit the minute the light changes. You got people that are like blasting the horns, like flipping you off. I'm like, oh my God, like, take it easy. What's the rush? Like, you're just gonna race to the next red light, but whatever. Eileen says, "Girl, I'm older and have more insurance." Name that movie. What is it, Eileen? I don't know. I'm older and I have more insurance. I do not. I am not good at that game. My ex used to be so good at that. He would say all him and his brother would name all of these movie title things, and I would be like, "What? You must be good at that." I'm not. Who in the chat knows what is that from? Girl, I'm older and have more insurance. Oh, Eileen says Kathy Bates. There you go. You guys are too funny. Yeah, Tombs, right? Love it. Nah, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. Well, it was the lady behind the counter. It was so funny. She was at the doctor's place and she was like, "Nah, nah." Well, no, sorry. It was the lady sitting down that I went to sit next to and she was like, "Nah, I don't like it. Nah, I don't like it." She's like, "I'm from Jersey. I don't like it." I was just laughing because it just reminds me of like back home, and people are just like, "Nah, I don't like it." You guys want more Millie? All right. I have to, I was only there for like 20, 30 minutes today, really on it. And it was really fast, but I told her, I said, we will definitely be back. We'll come back for like a nice dinner or something. And we definitely need to spend some more time hanging out with Millie. That's for sure. Oh, fried green tomatoes. Eileen, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Years and years. So yeah, all right. Well, listen, you guys, it was so nice hanging out with you all in the chat. I appreciate you guys all coming in and hanging out. And yeah, people are too much, that's for sure, Eileen. So listen, you guys are always welcome to come and hang out here on the stoop. Come and kick it with us and just chill out. And listen, it is Wednesday, July 16th at 7:33 p.m. And listen, you guys have a great evening. And until next time, be good.